It's me, MC of Healthy by George. I come every Friday and Sunday. And today I want to talk about bioidentical hormones for hormone replacement therapy in perimenopause and menopause. So please think about subscribing. I'd love to see you here where we can talk and share about how can we age and keep ourselves thriving and mentally and physically in the best place that we can be as we get older. That's my goal. And I hope that's your goal too, because man, we don't want to go into our older years really not knowing how to support ourselves. So last week I talked about hormone replacement therapy because, as some of you may know, almost a year ago, I had a complete hysterectomy. So now that I've recovered from everything, I decided to talk to my OBGYN and start some estrogen therapy because I'm still having or have had these symptoms of this hot and cold feeling at night, insomnia, some kind of brain fog, and just really wanting to make sure that this isn't because I'm not having any hormones. Plus, two other things. I was measured my height, and gosh, I lost not a whole inch, but some inches, no, some parts of an inch in my height, and that was scary. And then also too, when I saw some blood work from my recent wellness thing, I'm like borderline on some cholesterol measures, which I've never seen before. So those are two big issues for women: bone density and our heart health. Because our heart health, it really does change once we go into perimenopause and menopause. Suddenly, this whole issue around heart health becomes a much more important issue because of our estrogen levels or the various hormones that have helped us protect our heart health in our earlier years. So, why am I talking about bioidentical hormones? Sometimes there is a need for us to have a compound of hormones that specifically helps us with our conditions that we're suffering from because we're in perimenopause or menopause. And just giving someone one simple hormone like myself, like estradiol, may not be the trick. Maybe you need a combination of estradiol, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA, some thyroid hormones, because all of these things are produced naturally in our body when we are functioning in our younger years. And many of the what we call bioidentical hormones, they're naturally produced by our body. But when we start having deficits in them, there are some good replicas in plant-based that are able to alleviate these symptoms. And so if you do have hormone imbalance, and that's particularly as we're getting older, it's really important to look into what are your hormones. Like, what is your estrogen level or estradiol? Because that's the hormone that causes hot flashes and some original vaginal dryness. Your progesterone, sometimes that works in partnership with estrogen so that it helps you have a balanced sense of hot flash, of your symptoms. Testosterone, it's very important for us as well, even though we don't have it as high as for men. Low testosterone levels for women can be a problem as well. And there's a way for us to understand how those medicines work together. And then the thyroid hormone, that typically is something that's related to how we really deal with our metabolic health and how that helps us with our hypothyroid. It really helps our metabolism functioning. So we really want to understand what are the ways to achieve these various hormones in our body. And many times it's hard to find a pill or a prescription that really fits what each woman really needs. And that's where biocompounding or working with a compound pharmacy and a doctor who has a good relationship with a compound pharmacy that has good certification so that you know you're getting good quality ingredients. Because There are two processes with bioidentical hormones. Some of them, they are FDA approved. The patch I'm wearing, the estradiol patch, it is an FDA approved drug. And the other types of drugs that you still need a prescription, but the combination of these that you would get through a compound pharmacy is really going to be detailed towards what you specifically need. And I think a lot of women really like the idea of having this process available to them. Now, I'm not sure. I was very surprised at how much my drug cost me, both the estradiol and patch and cream. And it's really only for a month. That means I'm paying over 60 some odd dollars in copay for a month. And this is so shocking to me because when you look at the medications for men, guess what? In Medicare, there's no copay for Viagra. But for us women, for these many symptoms that we're trying to get under control for menopause or perimenopause, we're paying. That's a lot of money monthly, 60 some odd dollars to pay for just estrogen. I can't imagine what the cost would be for compounding. And this is just very difficult. And the reason that you really do want to look at compounding as an option is because there's a way that these drugs can be put together so that they can be structured to help you the most. And some people like the fact that a bioidentical hormone has a better conversion rate, that it breaks down in the body more naturally than perhaps a synthetic hormone. And so that is really very key. And it's easier to understand that we want something more natural and has a natural hormone process. So you might find a better result from this, what we call bioidentical hormones that can be compounded for you. And sometimes that conversion rate and the breakdown is not as accurate if you're getting something that's from a synthetic hormone. When they talk about half-life and the duration of action. So many times, like right now, I'm wearing an estradiol patch. I don't know if it's synthetic or how it's developed. I have to look into that. But seriously, right now, some of these FDA drugs are bioidentical. And I think that wanting to have something that is bioidentical, it means that our body absorbs it and distributes it differently. And so that means it'll probably only have a shorter effective life and that it may have a better balance in our body. And so that's really a key when you're thinking about combining various hormones together so that you get something that replicates what your body used to do. And also, too, with this, it could cause less side effects. I know I made the mistake of not putting my patch on right away after taking the one off from the last week, and today I'm having some headaches. So I'm sure it's from not taking the drug for a couple of days and now starting it again. Oh, no, I think I only skipped one day. Bad me. So I'm having these headaches, and I think that's a common side effect when starting it. So the key is that metabolism of these bioidentical hormones tends to be more natural and more predictable. While if you get a synthetic hormone, there's a little bit less natural, there's a little bit less predictability, and there's maybe a little more side effects. But every person needs to talk to their provider, to their well-trusted healthcare provider, their OBGYN, maybe they have a menopause specialist. I know many companies have popped up who are really working hard to help women. And I think this is great. And truthfully, it is something we must clearly help each other in supporting, that we get the help we need, because many of these drugs are so critical in reducing these horrible symptoms from menopause. It's really uncomfortable to have hot flashes. And it's so unexpected and it comes out of nowhere. It's really uncomfortable to have brain fog where you just feel like you're barely managing your day, or fatigue and insomnia. I know for me, insomnia has been the biggest thing, plus fatigue. So we really truly should think about how can we get access to medicines that are either tailored and formulated for us from a registered compound pharmacy, and that you're working with a doctor who you feel understands what you need and how to help support you. That's really what's key. And you can also get this in many ways, but we really must speak up, make our Congress, our government understand how much there needs to be more research, there needs to be more availability, there needs to be equity in how we have to pay for these medications that we all will need. More than 50% of the population is going to need medicines going into our older years. We deserve to be supported. Women need to be covered by their insurance with an appropriate cost for what they need monthly. This really must happen. So be well, my friends. If you're suffering from some perimenopause or menopause, or if you're a younger woman and you have a woman that's an aunt or a mother who is struggling, this is really key to support them to get hormone replacement therapy, see a specialist, get tested, understand what's happening with your hormones, because we don't have to live with these crazy symptoms every day. We can do something about it. And so let's take charge and make life much easier as we go into our older years. I want to have my brain less foggy. How about you? So be well. We have this one precious life. Let's live it intentionally. And please feel like subscribing. I would love to see you here every Friday and Sunday because I want us to support one another, to do everything we can daily to be the best version of ourselves as we get older. Bye-bye.
So thank you so much for joining me at Healthy by George. I hope you found the information inspiring and that it encourages you on your wellness journey. Because remember, your body, your well-being are a most precious gift, and every tiny action taken daily can make a huge difference. I hope the information here is educational purposes and is not meant to replace your medical care. See your doctor and talk about what works for you. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continuing creating content that inspires and empowers you to live your best life. Goodbye for now, and join me again at the next Healthy by George.